The road to the Kentucky Derby continues, and this time we take a look at the Kentucky Derby Future Wager Pool number 7, Part 2. You can watch the first part of the video in the link above, but let's start off with Max Player, who's going to be running Saturday in the Travers Stakes. And Max Player, coming off that third place finish in the Belmont Stakes, he's one that looks like he's still improving a little bit, but the problem is with him being running on Saturday and the pool's closing on Sunday, a strong performance may propel him below that 20-1 morning line, but I think that's probably pegged accurately for him. Still a little bit of upside. He does seem like a horse that can run all day, and he's the only one that was really going against the flow of the racetrack and the race profile on Belmont Stakes Day. And his slow withers time was accomplished over a very slow racetrack. So he's kind of ran into a little bit of adversity and kind of held sway in some of his lifetime starts. A little bit of upside with Max Player. New York Traffic, definitely the overachiever of the year, keeps on running big races, yet to pick up a win. He's listed at 20-1, training up to the Kentucky Derby after a strong second place finish in the Travers. Very few horses do what he did in that race. He got behind and looked beaten at the 8th pole, but kind of rushed up to make it close at the wire. But he's another one. I think that 1.25 miles could maybe do him in late. He seems to be holding form, and he did have his first workout since the Haskell as he starts to prepare for the Kentucky Derby. I'm not sure there's a lot of upside with playing New York Traffic in Pool 7 unless he floats up to that 40 or 50-1. Pneumatic, it looks like he did not enter the race on the Ellis Park, so now it looks like he's going to try to get in running in that Monmouth Park, the final stakes prep of the year for points. He's been continuing to work out. Since that'll be next weekend, he'll probably be a little bit higher price if he does do well in there. He did run a good race against Maxfield, so there's some consideration to take a look at that. So Pneumatic may be one of those ones to play in the bottom half of an exacta. Rushy is still not nominated for the Triple Crown in the Kentucky Derby, so I think at this point playing him, probably not. He's been beaten a couple of times by these horses, Honor AP, Authentic, and then came back and got beat in the Bluegrass pretty soundly by Art Collector and Swiss Skydivers. So I think Rushy's the type of horse that probably just is not top 10 capability here in the Kentucky Derby. Once you start getting past those top 10 horses, the odds get very long. Meanwhile, you've got a horse like Shared Sense going to run Sunday at the P-Patch at Ellis Park. He closed the last time out. If he wins there, I guess you could consider him one of the top 10, 12 contenders. And that's what you're trying to do here in this pool. Identify those top 10, 12 horses, because when they offer 24 selections here, that inflates some of the odds here in pool number 7. Shared Sense definitely improved in his last 2 starts and is the type that could run on and finish up that superfecta in the Derby. Meanwhile, Chivalry, you know, got exposed the last time out in the Bluegrass. He's going to run in the Travers Stakes. I can't really recommend him. 50-1 is not long enough. And then you've got a horse like Sol Volante, who's training up to the Breeders' Cup. Now, earlier this spring, I would have thought he was a good contender. I think he can close. He's got that mile and a 16th pedigree. He lost a little bit of weight coming back on that quick turnaround in the Belmont Stakes on 9 days rest. Now he gets the longer break and continues to train up to the Kentucky Derby. He's a long shot. Maybe if he floats up to 70 or 80-1, being out of sight, out of mind in this pool, he might be worth throwing in on a few tickets. South Bend is going to run in the Travers Stakes on Saturday. Not much to consider here. I think there's really no upside. He's ran on the turf. He's ran on the dirt. He's ran long. He's ran on short days rest. He's ran in competitively, but he hasn't really put himself in the hunt for the wins in any of those races. So I think South Bend is definitely not really the type of horse you want to play in a future wager trying to get some of that upside potential. 1,000 Words, big win last week out. He was 50-1 in some of the last couple of pools. So 1,000 Words is one of the 4 horses still alive from pool number 1, along with Tiz the Law and Authentic and Honor AP. So 1,000 Words, you know, I think if you can get 25-1, he may float up to there with a lot of these horses running this weekend. You get Uncle Chuck, you get a horse like Tiz the Law, and then you get the winner of the Ellis Park race and second place finisher. So 1,000 Words, over 25-1. I don't think he'll be that on Derby Day. I think he'll start to get sniffed down and bet down to one of the top 6, 7 contenders. So 1,000 Words, this could be the pool to play him if you have not done so already. Tiz the Law, 9-5. Favorite in the Travers. Not sure what you're going to see here for a price. Maybe 2-1, 5-2. He did go off at 5-2 the last time, 9-5 in Pool 5. So I think everybody that's wanted to bet Tiz the Law in the futures, I guess maybe if he loses the Travers Stakes, you might get him at 4-1, which may be higher than you would get on Derby Day. But if it's a bad loss, I'm not sure you want to take that. So Tiz the Law is kind of a tricky read on what you're going to get for a price on really what the value is. Maybe a few of the exactas with horses like Pneumatic and horses that he's not facing in the Travers Stakes with some of the Ellis Park and some of the other also-rans from last week. And then Uncle Chuck rounds out the individual selections. He's been hammered in the last two pools, pools 5 and 6. If he wins the Travers, he's probably the Kentucky Derby favorite. If he loses the Travers badly, his price may inflate way up to 10-12-1 if you think he can maybe improve in the next month. So that would be probably the advantage to playing Uncle Chuck in pool number 7. And then all others is 30-1. Really, I'm not sure who that would be unless somebody sneaks back in from Europe or somebody decides to enter that wasn't expecting to enter at this time. So that's a look at the players. Again, on Tiz the Law win, not a lot of upside. And Uncle Chuck loss, maybe you could play him in this pool. Pneumatic is a consideration. And then also I think there's still some upside in Max Player and possibly a horse like Shared Sense. But a lot of the other ones have already been exposed and have multiple losses as we get here in pool number 7. You can watch part 1 of the video. Don't forget to hit subscribe. Share this video with all your horse racing friends. And we're leading you up to the 2020 Kentucky Derby.